Okay, getting started. Looks like it's working. Now, I got the solve working yesterday, and now I'm gonna clean it up just a little bit, and we're going to scale and orient it, and then toss it in the blender while I will start doing some modeling. Now, let's see. So something I realized that I should have done, because my camera, and most cameras, when you're shooting photos in automatic mode, they'll do a little bit of stabilization. So I did a little test, and it looks like this might have been the case. My Sony a7S Mark II might have been doing a little steady shot for automatic mode. That might just be an automatic thing, I don't know. So, I'm going to solve distortion a little bit differently in this shot. So last stream I did a little quartic and quadratic in the classic model. So this is the model that Synthesize has had for years. This isn't flexible enough, because when you're dealing with stabilization, your plate is warping from frame to frame. So I need to switch from classic over to one of the new options that Synthesize now provides. And for this, I'm going to use radial fourth order. This is basically all your spherical distortions updated. So you have all the nifty little, you can deal with different degrees of distortion here. You got your quartic, quadratic. I don't know, like they're labeled differently here, but I assume like stuff like this is quartic and cubic. I don't know. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to calc this C2. So if I calc, so now I have my little standard distortion back, right? But what I want as well is, let's see, this little quartic, get this. Cool, so you can see it looks like I've got a little pin cushion going on with my camera. Good to see. And now there's one more step that we're going to do. By the way, I just want to see what my point cloud's doing. I like looking at this each time. So if I undo redo, yeah, it's changing a little bit. And what I'm going to do now is we are going to turn on some animated parameters here. We are going to solve this left and right, up and down movement, because I personally believe that this is kind of the best counter you have to a stabilized plate. And so far, I mean, I think it's been working. If I look at the solve error, 1.08, so let's see if this goes down. I'm going to turn, like I could tell him to calculate, but on one frame that doesn't help much. We're going to change it to animate by frame. And now when I calc, let's look over here. So calc, what do we have? Our error is 0.6. So look what the plate is doing now. I'm just going to hit play. I'm going to reduce the speed, maybe quarter speed. So I don't know if you could see it very easily. Look at the top left corner. That might be the easiest. The plate itself is actually, or the image itself is being warped on a mesh. So that would be because, in my mind, because my camera is stabilizing the plate for a photo, thinking it's helping me, which, you know, this isn't a common thing to do. So it doesn't help me, but Synthesize came in clutch. Now let's just take a look at some things. So I do got to scale and orient my scene. And I don't know if these walls are... So I might tell the wall back here it's flat. So I don't know if the walls are like a nice straight, you know, 90-degree, was that perpendicular? I don't know if the walls are perpendicular to each other or if they're at a slight slant, right? I don't know. This building has a very strange shape to it. So I'm going to go over here and find some points on a wall. Let's color some points that we can reference. I'm going to color this wall yellow. Also, I think my scene flipped around. I don't know when that happened. Is my camera upside down? Where is it? Nope, it just flipped the wrong way. Okay, we'll fix that later. Alright, so we have this here, and I might have to make some more. Let's make this light blue. So, looking over here, whoops, what did I hit? Which viewer is this? Okay. Yeah, these points should be at least I don't know. We'll see in a moment. Wait, did my scene flip around on that solve? Or was it always like this? Actually, this might be correct. I might have been wrong. Might have been seeing things. Okay, so these points, I don't know if the wall is crooked or if this is what it should be. So here's what I'm going to assume. The only x-axis I have here, I believe it's the only x-axis. Yeah, this is the only x-axis I have freed up. So based off that tiny little line, I don't trust that it's oriented a flat axis for the whole world. So I'm going to take this back wall and I'm going to link these two. And you can see that they're linked now. I'm going to tell them that they are flat on X and Y. So now that I've done that, my scene will have adjusted itself slightly. So now the back wall is flat. And these points here. So this wall here. Again, I don't know if these walls are supposed to be perfectly flat. Everything in this parquet is crooked. Like, look at the pipes here. And nothing is level. You can see that this here is starting to bow down a little bit. If I look over here, we're looking at the undistorted plate. You could see the bending, the warp. And this is happening everywhere. I'm pretty sure it's like, look at this. So these walls aren't perfect. I don't want to force things as much as I don't want to force things too much. So this wall, I don't know, there's a lot of points here. And even I turn the camera around and I get more coverage. I think that these points are pretty well where they probably should be. So I don't want to go crazy forcing the wall over here. That's not even what I need. I need this area, and I flatten that out. What is this? Oh, let's level that out. Let's link it to one of those two. Tell it XY. It's already pretty perfect, but we might as well send it home. Oh, I didn't fix my... Oh, my audio is working. My audio isn't left and right. Nice. It's a good day. Okay. So let's get a couple signs over here real quick. Add them into the solve. Just to make sure I have something on this wall. Get this guy over here. Okay. So we got something in that wall. I'm actually going to color those real quick so I can monitor what they're doing. Let's go magenta. And they look pretty flat as well. This looks pretty nice. Looks really nice. So we have all of our crazy undistortion. We have a little quadratic, and I assume that's what those are. And we have our animated degrees of distortion probably quartic is what we're doing. So now... Yes. Now, let's scale this. Now, I had a version of this where I did a test run over to Blender to make sure that I knew how to do that again, because it's been a while. So I might have already scaled this. But let's drop in a human, and I'm going to drag him up so he's about 170 centimeters. And yeah, I already kind of scaled the scene. When I scaled the scene, I just went 3D whole scale, and I dragged from the origin, or the center point. Oh, come on. Why isn't dragging it from there? Weird. I guess the human is like blocking him. But I clicked from the point before and I scaled it up. Oh, weird. I nailed it. Sweet. The guy is scaling, and I don't want him to scale with the scene, so I would right-click Whole Effects Meshes off, and then I would do it. And I keep missing that button again. I don't know why I can't hit that. If I move this guy slightly over there, What? Why? Huh. I don't know why that's happening. I've never seen that. Why specifically? What? Oh, okay. Anyway. Yeah. Scale. So for a shot like this, I just winged it with a scale. I could have taken a measurement of one of these things, and then I could have, like if I have any constraint here, like I do, I could select one of the trackers and type in distance for the one that's constrained. And that's how my scene would scale. Okay, so I think all the lingering stuff is done. So I guess my first order of business then is I am going to go over to Blender now, and I'm going to model the floor. I'm probably not going to do the whole thing on stream, but just like sections of this. And again, the purpose of me doing this live is I just want a survey solved that's up for somebody to be able to see, something for somebody to reference. I can point to and easily explain like, hey, here's what this is for. Here's why we do it. And if you ask me a question, I'll probably direct you like, hey, here's the thing. So this is just me casually doing some work. Now, Blender. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go lens workflow, redistort it to, and we are going to have to render out this plate. And you can see it has our animated distortion, correcting for my camera's stabilization. And now I am going to render. So I already have something entered. I'm going to just render it. And now we're going to actually export the Blender file. So you would go File, Export, and look for Blender Python. So I'm about to click that and export it. But just to make sure I don't flash some project files, we're going to hide that. So Blender Python. And getting my track location. And bring the screen back. So here are the settings. I don't remember if I messed around with this much. I don't think so. I'm going to turn off Open Blender automatically. Just because I haven't set this up right. So it doesn't open up Blender for me. I'll do that later. Is there anything I might want? Tracker size could stand to be bigger, but I might as well do that in Blender. Rescale scene, this is good because Blender's scale units are quite different than most software. Delete pre-existing meshes. I should probably turn this off because then it would wipe something out of the script that annoys me. It's not bad. I'm gonna try this. Yeah, I'm gonna turn this off. No, I'm gonna keep it on. I just want things to work. Okay, so I'm gonna hit OK. Great. Now off into Blender. So if you launch Blender, it's going to look like this. You might want to instinctually delete the stuff, but don't, because that Python script wants this stuff to be here just so that it can delete it itself. So I'd imagine if I uncheck that option, I could delete these, and then the script would just work, but I'll test that later. It's probably all it is. So I'm going to come over to scripting, and I'm going to hit open, and I'm going to navigate and grab that Python script that I just saved. So once again, yeah, so I got it right here, and I'm going to hit open, and now we have a bunch of stuff. It is a very big script. And now I'm just going to hit run. So now that I've run it, it delete the stuff that was, oh, yep, there we go. I'm going to go back to layout. So it delete the stuff that was already there, except the light, I guess. I'm going to delete that myself. And you can see over here in the, what do you call this again? I want to call it an outliner, but what does Blender call it? Oh, they do call it an outliner. So we have our camera trackers, we have our Synthize collections here, and Synthize overall world, so we can grab and move, do our layout if we need. I'm going to rearrange this myself. I'm going to grab everything. I don't have to do this now. You don't even have to do this if you don't want to, if anyone's using Blender. I'm going to hit M on my keyboard and move it all to scene collection. So now it's outside of all of these collections. And I'm going to arrange it all how I want. I also don't really want this stuff. I don't really want this stuff under the Synthize group. I kind of want to just put it clean under a collection. I know I'm not going to touch this anymore. So that's Alt-P, clear parent. Delete Synthize world. And let's select this, and this also select hierarchy. Wait, select hierarchy so we get the locators, and then control click our camera. I'm gonna hit M, new collection. Let's just call it shot cam. Actually, this is like survey camera. I'm gonna call it survey camera. So I have that. Screen. I don't need a screen. And the guy, I'm probably going to make a proxy geo collection. There we are. And I want that image sequence that I rendered out. So I'm going to select my camera, come over here. We're going to go background images, and we're going to add image, and I'm going to open once again. Yep. So out of all these images, I have a bunch of images here. Some are just my raw images off my camera, and I re-render just with a new, naming convention, I guess, right here, starting at frame 1. Usually 1001, but I'm just doing my own survey. And I re-rendered a undistorted version out of Synthize. So I'm just going to hit A and select all of these, because when you open all of them, off to the right here, is my footage in the way? Not for this. You can click right here, and then you could see the new stacks. So I can hit UD. Now when I hit UD, you could see the plate shows right here. It's wrong because there's no on distortion. But it disappears when I switch over to my UD plate. That's because this sequence has like some absurd, like crazy number at the end of it, right? Like the number my camera gave it. So UD should not have this offset right here. So this 3000, whatever, I'm going to zero it out. Also, let's turn opacity up. Maybe around here. So this should work now. So if I play, it should match. Yes, it does. And you could see our distorted plate is moving and animating. Looks awesome. I am going to select my trackers. That's where I click select hierarchy. And if I right click, they're very small. I can't see anything, right? So right click, adjust empty display size. And then drag. Awesome. Now, unfortunately, I cannot color empties in Blender, which bums me out. Because I would love for these to appear obnoxiously bright without me having to have them highlighted. Maybe there's a way. I haven't found it. So now, let's see. I guess I'm just modeling now. So if I hit home on my keyboard, I can frame the footage. And if I hit home down in the time bar, I can frame the time bar. And I also don't want it to play at light speed if I were to play when I just want to see things. So I'm going to come over to the render stuff and change my frame rate to a custom. What? How do I change to custom? I did this before. Oh, do I gotta like type it right here? Oh, okay, I get it. Weird. I guess I probably already did that correctly before and I forgot. So now I could just play it and I can just casually watch it go through the images. So, I guess let's look at blocking some stuff in. Just so I can get a quick little warm up. Let's model a pillar first. Let's do this one. I like this one. So, I want to see this as wireframe, but if I switch to wireframe, we see the edges through. I don't really want to see that. So I'm going to come up over here and turn on X-ray. And X-ray will do some backface cut, well, use background shader kind of things. Whoops. So to snap this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change. Hope that's not too loud. I turned it up just a bit just now. I'm going to go Control period, turn on snapping, change it to vertex, and now grab and snap my origin of the cube over to the bottom corner. And I am going to grab and snap it over to this vertice, GX, and hopefully the axis stuff is working. GZ, Scale Z, SZ. I don't know where this corner is, so hopefully I catch it on the other side. So this throwing me off a little bit. Now I'm curious if this pillar has kind of a shear on it on the back. Let's scale it up here maybe. Right to that locator. That might have been obvious, maybe. Also, I think there is I think there is like a lock view button somewhere here. Lock to. Yeah, let me save this real quick. Okay, so I think I can probably turn on lock 2 maybe. And I'll do the ink dabber, grab this. And if I move, what happens? Nope. What about this? How do I use view lock? I don't know how to use this. I think this is used for like rigging and animation. I'll have to play around with that sometime. Whoops. Oh, there we go. So this actually looks pretty good. I think I was just being crazy. So I'm not going to go super crazy with the detail because everything is warped and I would go nuts if I spent all this time trying to model every little thing. But for this one, I do just want to practice it and do this. And let's also come over here and change to object color. And our objects, we're going to come over to our object data properties or object properties. Object properties. Viewport display, change this to red, I guess. And also value up to like 2, just so it's brighter. Yeah, that looks cool. And let's see if we can duplicate this. So let's duplicate it, bring it over here. Now I'm going to go grab Shift Y. Also, I got to turn snapping off. Grab Shift Y. Man, imagine if this just works by just in one go. Oh wow, it actually looks pretty good. That never happens. Little warp in the pillar. Oh yeah, this is just this pillar just has a funny shape to it. Not much I'm gonna do about this. Looks pretty good. Okay, so that was a little practice, and now I'm gonna do the floor. Mainly, I mainly need the floor and the walls. So, we have our points over here, and our points for the back wall. What's the easiest, quickest way to go about this? I'm gonna trace the wall. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try something. Only faces. Delete the vertices right here. And let's make one big line. This line, we're going to snap it over to the wall. And we're going to take both of these, snap them on Y over to one of these wall points here. It's not going to line up. That's fine. we'll do a extra vertice over here and bow it out a little. So this point, I want to scale it out a bit, I think. Let me see. Yeah, I want to scale it out past camera. So I'm going to go over here, Shift S cursor to selected. Change the, what's it called? What's this called again? Pivot point to 3D cursor. And there we go. Scale it past the camera here. And let's go drag it down a bit. And let's add a couple divisions. So now that I have this, let's take this point over here and we're going to extrude it along X. I don't exactly know how far to extrude it, so let's just drag it vaguely in that corner. Maybe in the future I'll connect it. And now we'll take these 2 points, subdivide them. It's pretty in line with these points, so that's good. I forgot I snapped that corner. Okay, and now I'm going to exaggerate some wall points so I can remember what is what. Anything the ground needs to connect to, I'm going to exaggerate right now. Whoops, I have pivot points on, so let's go, whoops, not this. Individual origins. Nice, okay. So let's take this, and I guess give it a big extrude. Let's turn snapping on. And I'm going to grab this and hit F to fill. This, and we're going to actually end this. We're going to subdivide. Okay. So I'm going to try something. We'll take these two, cursor to selected, and then take the middle one, selection to cursor. Okay. Okay, so I don't like 100% know what I'm doing here, but let's try and give things a fill. So to fill this, I'm going to have it selected, F3 grid fill. And grid fill should do a pretty nice job at smoothing things, but we will have to adjust the ground a bit. So this whole thing, I am going to divide it. Actually, let's manually add a couple edges here, just to make things a little bit more uniform. And now we're going to subdivide. And I think we want a little bit of smoothness, if we can help it, yeah. Yeah, so some of these ground points here, you could see that they're clearly floating above the mesh. So we're going to do some soft selection. This wasn't really the best decision right here, but it's fine. I don't see any of that anyway. Okay, so let's take the wall over here. So I'm going to hit 2, select my edge, and then control click over here to get the shortest path. And let's E to extrude and Z. I'm also going to scale Z 0. I could see the ceiling right here. And it looks like it might be a little bit different here. This is a strange ceiling. I'm gonna have a not fun time modeling this. So I'm also gonna take let's take all of it and do another subdivide. And turn that smooth off. And make it something darker. Let's go blue. And now some other pillars. So let's duplicate this pillar and take it over there. That looks pretty nice. Oh, this edge is beveled. Great. Oh, not really. Oh, it's beveled halfway down. Or am I being fooled by the shadows? Huh. There, I got a bevel. I don't know about that corner up there, but doesn't matter. This geo's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Now let's see if I can take it to the pillar at the end. Whoops. Now this pillar at the end, do I have a point for? No. So, I'm going to do a locator trick on it. I'm going to go Shift A, wait, let's hit Shift right click, create a cursor just somewhere in space. Shift A, actually let's make it somewhere here on the ground. Turn snapping off too. Somewhere on the ground close to the pillar. Now we're going to create a empty. And we're going to put this empty right on the edge. An edge that we'll see from the other side. And now what I want to do is I also want to currently select my camera and place my cursor to the camera at its current position. So I can scale this. Whoop, if I change to 3D cursor, if I scale this, it's not looking like it's making a difference. It is. It's pushing back in space. I guess you could see the occluded plane. So now let's go to another frame where we see that pillar. Like over here. So I scale it, and you see I'm scaling it from where the camera was. And I can get the edge of that pillar. I'm not too sure what edge that is. I'm gonna match this one because I assume that this angle has the least bevel. So let's take this and duplicate it. Oh, also turn on snapping. Oh, pivot also. So I think at this point, I'm going to show another method of how you might model some, let's say, pipes. And I'm just going to show a couple things, probably just the pipe thing, honestly. I think I've showed everything useful. And again, the purpose of this is just so I have something to point somebody to, like hey, we're modeling out the environment, here's how I might do it. And yeah, so I guess one more trick that I find kind of useful for making pipes. So putting trackers on this to me was kind of annoying, or like, because there's a lot of round corners and my angles were getting a little crazy. So you can make a pipe very simply. You can use a curve or you can use a circle. I'm going to use a circle. Where'd it go? Oh, it's over there. So let's snap it somewhere close and turn snapping off. I am going to rotate this on Y. Yeah. So now that I have that, I am going to, doesn't matter what the depth is, we're going to line it up, scale it, and just fit the, what is that, diameter? Radius? I don't remember. And now, actually, let's move it over here. Sorry. Okay. Now that we have it over here, we are again going to snap the cursor to selected to the camera. Going to change to 3D cursor mode. Now we're going to scale this circle. I think I like this angle. Let's see. So if I scale it, see, there's going to be a point where it fits very snug. Whoops. There, so that circle should look awesome. Maybe not so much right there. Let's try scale it from here. Right there. Yeah. So let's do that one more time. So I'm going to duplicate this. And for now, we'll get off cursor. Actually, we don't need to. Actually, yes, we will. Because we're moving it from a weird pivot. So now G. It's still moving slow. Why is that? Oh, there we go. Okay, weird. Don't worry about the different scale, because they're gonna eventually match up. And now, camera again, Shift S, cursor to selected, and 3D cursor. I'm also going to reference that it's kind of in between this line thing and this, what do you call this? I don't know. Coupling? That's not what that is. I'm an idiot. I don't even know that that's not what it is. Oh, that looks pretty good to me. Sweet. Okay, so now I can select these two circles. Control J to join. And now they are two things. So can I hit F fill? No. Can I grid fill? No. Can I bridge? Where's bridge? Oh, do I have to be in edge mode? Yes. Now bridge. Yes. I should have reduced the amount of polygons when I made this. That would be one thing that annoys me about Blender. Quite a bit, actually. But let's grab I think there's an easy way to grab every second. I don't remember. I just want to reduce this so it looks a little cleaner. And X dissolve edges. So do a little soft select move of this whole thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to model a whole bunch of these pipes. Does it look cool over here? Oh, it looks pretty good. It's like, I don't know if this is a deformed pipe thing, but it looks pretty good. Also, I don't have a tracker filling out this corner of the shot, so admittedly, this could be the solve, just warping my plate, like, slightly off. Either way, though, it's good for me, because my shot that I'm going to be doing stuff on is from this angle. And if I need to, I can shot fix things. I also don't know if I'm just going to be replacing a bunch in CG, maybe keeping the floor, some... I don't know how much of this is going to be kept when I'm doing the actual shot. Because these pipes are kind of annoying, it's probably going to be easier for me if I just modeled some pipes and got rid of these completely. Just put my own flat, do like a Photoshop, remove content aware fill of all this stuff, project it clean. Yeah. So that is about that. And I can name stuff, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, so that's about it. That's all I'm gonna do for this stream. So there's not much else to modeling. It's just modeling. And there were a couple tricks to snapping things. One is you snap to the existing points. 2 is you do that locator trick that I showed. And 3, if you want round things, like you can find creative ways to scale things from camera, like this pipe. Like if you had a sphere or a basketball sitting on the ground, you can just make a sphere and then line it up on like one frame, go to the other, scale it back, and that's it. So I'm going to go, and yeah, that's about that. All right. Good time for the music to stop. All right. And later.